It's time for local high school football. Hometown Sports. Sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Alpha Technology and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Valley Strong Credit Union, and 5-0 Driving School.
And good evening and welcome to week 5 of our 39th season of Hometown Sports. I'm Greg Kerr alongside Emily Lawson. Coming up, the only 1-hour show highlighting the best of high school football, the most games, the most comprehensive highlights. And tonight we're taking you to Fresno, Lake Isabella, Santa Maria, Los Angeles, San Diego, a lot of places I'd like to go to. And of course, every game here in town, plus youth football, and as always, the BC Renegades.
In addition, we have our usual collection of awards, Players of the Week, Athlete of the Week, Game-Saving Play, Exciting Play, Hits of the Week, and our Scholar of the Week. Before
we begin, our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, celebrating 50 years, Kern County, and located in the Bakersfield Auto Mall. Valley Strong Credit Union, financial independence starts here. Open a Valley Strong youth account today. Little Caesars Pizza, the best pizza value in Bakersfield with 15 locations. 5-0 Driving School, owned and operated by first responders, and Alpha Technologies, keeping you protected and connected.
And Greg, we want to recognize our longtime segment sponsors as well. They are Raymond's Trophies and Awards. It's not just a trophy, it's a memory. Golden Empire Youth Tackle Football and Cheer, Competitive Excellence, Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality dental care to you and your family.
And there's Accelerated Urgent Care. Feel faster, better from everywhere or anywhere. Stockdale Podiatry Group, we treat your feet. And a new sponsor on board, Greg's Petroleum Service, your dependable partner and fuel and lubricants. And even newer, joining us this week, Mather Brothers right here, ice and water, keeping Bakersfield and us hydrated. Let's talk hats out in front of you, by the way. City of Delano had a great week. Chavez, they're in the win column. Delano piling up points like it's nobody's business. Kennedy, impressive again. Plus our unbeatens are up there in front as well. BHS, BCHS, Shafter, and Wasco. And a nod to the BC defense and a tough loss. So it's week 5 and we thank you for joining us.
We're starting things off today with a trip to a highly anticipated game, Kennedy versus Independence. Thunderbirds head coach Mario Mion once coached under Independence's Paul Gola when he was the leader at BHS. Mion says he's adopted Gola's defensive style, and judging by Friday's game, it looks like he's running it pretty well. A special moment ahead of kickoff, motorcycles lining the Kennedy sidelines, and a tribute to our veterans, setting the stage for a big matchup. First quarter, Kennedy comes out firing. Jordan Palomo hands it off to J.C. McCoblin, who charges straight up the middle, in for a touchdown. Thunderbirds up 7-0. Kennedy strikes again with another touchdown before the half, extending the lead to 13-0. Second half, Independence trying to get something going. The pass connects. The Falcons are on the move. But then the ball is stripped. DeAndre Campos with the recovery for Kennedy. But just a few plays later, the ball pops loose again. Kennedy fumbles it this time. Demarius Johnson with the recovery for Independence. Kennedy's defense standing strong, still 13-0. Thunderbirds Kennedy back on the driving seat. Jordan Palomo hands it to J.C. McCoblin again. He powers through the middle, straight into the end zone. Kennedy now leads 21-0. Independence still fighting. Gunter Gola drops back, dumps it off to Ricky Johnson. He turns it upfield, shakes off tackles, nearly is gone, but it's just forced out of bounds. Gola takes another shot, looks downfield, and this time tucks and runs, cuts back up the middle, but he is taken down just short of the 10-yard line by Espen Cantu. Now in the red zone, Gola fakes the handoff to Jackie Irvin and punches it in himself. Independence finally gets on the board, 21-6, and that would be the final score. Kennedy takes the win at home over Independence, 21-6.
Drop ball, a wrong route, a missed block, but great teams don't do that, and great teams cause that. So we're a great football team, and this is probably a good thing that this happened to us now. So we get in the video room and fix it.
We've been together for a while. We've all been together. We've been on the same page. They take my abuse, and I appreciate that from those guys. But we have one goal and one mission, and we stick to it. And that's what we're going to do. We don't deviate from what we're trying to do. We don't say we're going to do something we're not going to do. This is who we are.
J.C. McCoblin with a monster game, maybe even award-winning. You'll have to stay tuned and find out. Ricky Johnson and Raylan Denweed, double-digit tackles next week. Indy will host Liberty. Kennedy with a bye week.
Well, sometimes sustained success can either be ignored or taken for granted, and BCHS is that team. Eagles are a model of consistency, league champions 8 years in a row, and counting, by the way. And in case you're wondering, that BCHS BHS showdown is October 17th. Still a lot of football to be played before that. Eagles hosting Stockdale in this one. It's 3-0 BCHS. The defense is stepping up right here. Carson Greer with the tackle and Dancing with the Stars move right there. Here we go, Eagles. Offense, Lincoln Adame rolling out as options. Andre Calderon's always a good one before he's finally wrestled out of bounds. Moments later, we have perfect view here until then. Okay, but the give to Michael Smith into the end zone for the touchdown. 10-0 BCHS on top. Second quarter, Eagles in the red zone. Garnett Colburn shoots the gap and gets the tackle there for the Mustangs. But 2 plays later, Darion Page up the middle. He gets help from his friends. Number 52, Vincent Ramirez. Number 71, DeMonte West. Number 53, Christian Perez, all helping him in the end zone. 17-0, Eagles on top. Back to that Eagles defense. They were smothering the Mustangs. John Heath right there, the tackle in the backfield. Moments later, Stockdale to punt. And at the other end of it, Darion Page. And he's going to find a seam. And now it's just going to be a race to the pylon. In for the score. And it's all BCHS at this point. More defense. 2 players after the ensuing kickoff. Avery Jaramillo swooping in for the strip. Michael Smith the score. It's 30-0 BCHS. And just before the half, Lincoln Adame to Michael Smith on the quick slant. 37-0. And BCHS goes on to win by a final of 47-0. Lincoln Adame, Michael Smith, Darion Page, big games. The Eagles remain unbeaten. Next week, they're at Tulare Union. That should be a good one. Stockdale will have a bye.
Shafter off to a strong start this season, making the trip to Fresno to take on Edison. And don't let Edison's 0-4 record this season fool you. They have had some close battles with some tough teams. So the Generals, keeping their perfect record, could be tough against the Tigers. The Shafter and Edison captains meeting in the center of the field pregame to get this game going. First quarter, Edison take control early. Kingston Johnson hits Brian Moton in the near sideline. Moton finds some space and turns it upfield before he's forced out at the 42. A few plays later, Johnson looks downfield, connects deep with Darion Jones. A battle for the ball. Jones wins it. First touchdown of the night, 2-point try, no good. Edison up 6-0. The ensuing kickoff, Shafter is on the return, looking for an opening, but the Tigers swarm. Jaron Biddiz strips the ball and takes it all the way to the house. Back-to-back touchdowns for Edison. They lead 13-0. Second quarter, Shafter starts to fight back. Ezekiel Osborne hands it off to Marion Sloan, breaking tackles, weaving through traffic, and powers into the end zone. Shafter cuts the lead to 13-7, and that's your halftime score. Edison 13, Shafter 7. Whatever Coach Gerald Perucci said in the locker room, it worked. Early in the third, Osborne finds Isaiah De La Mora, sheds a tackle, turns the corner, touchdown Generals. Shafter takes their first lead of the night, 14-13. And about a minute later, backed up inside their own 10, no problem. Osborne gives it to Sloan, and he's off. Breaks through the line, shrugs off tacklers, and he's gone. Another huge touchdown for the Generals. They lead 21-13. Now in the fourth quarter, Shafter in full control. Generals up 28-19. Osborne fakes the handoff, keeps it, and sprints down the sideline. Finally pushed out around the 15. Now in the end zone, it's Sloan time again. Takes the handoff, barrels through defenders. Touchdown number 4 of the night. Generals extend the lead 35-19. Edison still fighting though. Johnson rolls out, finds Antonio Reyes, and he walks it in for the score, but it's too little, too late. Final score, Shafter 42, Edison 25. The Generals storm back from an early deficit and leave Fresno with the win.
Each week we tell our kids, be good enough to be 4-0, be good enough to win that week, and we were good enough to win this week.
Marion Sloan, 282 rushing and 5 touchdowns. Next week, Shafter will play host to St. Joseph's.
All right, it's time for our first break. Coming up, we're in Los Angeles with BHS, San Diego with Frontier, And we're right here in town with Liberty. Quick reminder, follow us on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. Scoring updates and highlights posted there. You can also catch this full episode of Hometown Sports on YouTube at Bakersfield Now. Hometown Sports. We'll be right back.
Regiment Band and Color Guard would like to thank Black Bear Diner for always sponsoring us.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. The record may say there's a loss, but BHS is unbeaten on the field. And they look the part as well. Their second trip to Los Angeles, their second straight convincing win. I'll show you. It's the Drillers and the Dorsey Dons in Los Angeles. Captains meeting at midfield. Second play from scrimmage. They sort of set the tone for this one. And watch what happens. Elijah Cavazos, a quarterback, going up top, going to Eric Ben right there. Not up top. He just made it look that way. Going the distance for the touchdown, 61 yards. And the Drillers are on top 7-0. Dons to punt moments later after the first possession. Yeah, that didn't quite work out. And the Drillers smother in the end zone for a safety, 9-0 BHS. Moments later, Drillers back in the red zone. That's R.J. Sheehy, and that's another score, 16-0 BHS. Next BHS possession, they are back in the end zone again. Elijah Cavazos to B.J. Vesey for the touchdown, 23-0. Drillers D gets the ball right back. Morgan Reynolds with a strip in the backfield right there. Denham Simmons recovers. And the very next play, watch Elijah Cavazos go to B.J. Vesey again, 30-0 BHS in command. More Driller defense to speak of as well. Zach Wheeler with a tackle for loss. Oh, now let's go to the second quarter. It's our time for our flop of the night. Watch Jeremy Millette, number 3. Watch him right here. After the play. Okay, right there. Well, we'll show it to you again. Oh, come on, Jeremy. Here we go. There you go. Maybe another time. We just got just for fun.
Get him an Oscar.
There you go. So that's enough of Jeremy Millette. But what he does best is get to the quarterback. Later second quarter, Cavazos. Time to throw to R.J. Sheehy, who has room to run to make it 37-0. That's your score at the half. Drillers take their foot off the gas. They win 37-0. 2 trips to L.A., 2 shutout wins.
We really stressed all season long. We've been stressing all 3 phases of the game, and happy with the way the boys came out. Play hard, have fun. That's what we always talk.
Yeah, and you come back down here to LA and you get your, I believe, second straight shutout. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's got to feel pretty good, right?
Man, Coach Oliver has the defense flying around. Doesn't matter who's in the game. The standard is the standard. Everybody's flying around making plays.
So Elijah Cavazos, 4 TD passes. Jeremy Millette had the 1 flop, but 3 tackles for loss. And BHS with the bye week coming up.
Well, Frontier with a less than ideal start to the season, but last week against Clovis, the Titans proved when the pressure is on, they can deliver. This week, the Titans making the trip to San Diego. Frontier all the way in San Diego, like I mentioned, to take on Lincoln, and we were there so you don't miss the action. First quarter, no score. Talon Mather down the far sideline. 20-yard touchdown run makes it 7-0 Frontier. Later in the first, Brady Campbell to Kobe Watson. Deep ball, far sideline, touchdown, 14-0 Frontier. Now it's 14-7. This is a handoff to Rashad Robinson with another touchdown for the Hornets. Ties the game at 14. Lincoln now in control. Jordan Roa to Courtney Thompson. Lincoln scores 31 unanswered points to win it 31-14.
Proud of how we fought, and we were physical. Bakersfield is a physical brand of football, and that's what we wanted to bring down to San Diego and represent Bakersfield well, and how physical Bakersfield is and how tough Bakersfield is. And I thought our kids did that really well tonight because they weren't. I don't think Lincoln was ready for that physicality from us.
Talon Mather with 117 yards and a touchdown. Kobe Watson with a touchdown catch. Next week, Frontier at Clovis North.
In other words, it doesn't get much easier. Don't be surprised if the second half of Liberty season looks nothing like the first half. The Patriots defense is still a work in progress. They have given up at least 30 points in all 5 of their games, but a change of quarterback had them playing section power Central East down to the wire. Let's get you out there as the Pats take the field for this one. First quarter, no score. And Jelani Dipple, the quarterback for the Bengals, and he goes to E.J. Morgan, who makes the grab. 7-0 Central East on top. Gavin Parham at quarterback, and he is going to scramble and run for a first down. Just keeps things going. What he really did in the pocket was extend a lot of plays. Parham here rolling out, waiting, finds a wide open Dennis Perry. Touchdown, 7-7 tie. Second quarter, 14-7 Central East, and Parham back at work. This time goes to Elijah Fudge, who gets in for the score. It's 14-13. The Bengals, however, responded in a hurry, and here's how they did it. Jelani Dipple again at quarterback, going deep to Bayon Harris. He makes the grab. It's 21-13, and that is your score at the half. Let's go third quarter. It's now 28-13 Central. Pats on the move. The give to Elmo Witten. 55 yards later, he's in the end zone. It is 28-20, a one-possession game. Later third quarter, Bengals drive in the field. Andrew Garcia goes in, 35-20. So Liberty has some work to do. Fourth quarter, Patriots need a score, and they get one. Gavin Parham to Irvin Callaway. Touchdown. It's now 35-27, but the Pats need to get the ball back, and they do. Mason Short with the strip. And who's going to come up with it? The Patriots. Number 13, Riker Essman, comes up with the fumble recovery, and that sets up this. Dennis Perry breaking free from 35 yards, 35-33, but the Patriots come up just short. Again, your final 35-33.
That was a battle with a really good football team. I'm proud of the way our guys fought. The grit, that was a huge improvement from the past couple of weeks, and we're building up. I mean, phase one's over, and we're working into phase two now.
All right, so Gavin Parham running in, passing. Dennis Perry, 2 TDs, and he had an interception on defense. Elijah Fudge, by the way, had a touchdown catch. Next week, Liberty at Independence. Coming up on Hometown Sports, we're heading to South in McFarland, plus a trip to the coast with Centennial. Hometown Sports will be right back. But first, our hometown focus, family, faith, and friends at BCHS, cheerleaders aplenty, and the bands that keep on playing. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. 4 weeks, 4 losses, not a single point to show for their efforts. That was the plight of Chavez Titans under first-year coach Christian Sanchez. Week 5 on the road at South, and the finish probably the best of the week. Let's get you out there as the Spartans take the field. And the Chavez offense, again, scoreless on the season. Kevin Lopez gets in, and that's why you see the celebration that you see as they had an early 7-0 lead. Second quarter, Titans punting the ball away. And it is going to be fumbled, recovered by the Titans, and that would lead to this field goal by Orlando Martinez. 10-0 Chavez on top. And that's your score at the half. Chavez with the 10-point lead. Let's go third quarter. Virgilio Fuentes at quarterback. And look at him break free. Shedding that one final tackler. Going 64 yards for the score. 2-point conversion is 10-8. Later, South driving. Julian Cardenas. Tackle for loss. Forcing this punt. And on a bounce, Jacob Castellanos at his own 8. Oh, my goodness. They didn't set the edge, and look at him go. Wheels aplenty, 92 yards for the score. And Chavez on top 16-8. We now go fourth quarter. Chavez driving with the lead. But then things turn here. The interception by Rogelio Fuentes. And now we go under 20 seconds to play. Fuentes to Khalil Banner. It's 16-14. But the Spartans need 2 to force overtime. What are they going to do? Well, let's watch. Fuentes up the middle. 16-16 with 12 seconds to play. You bet we're going to overtime. Spartans got the ball first. To the goal line they go, but the ball is loose right there. Couple guys for the Spartans had a chance. Kevin Lopez recovers for Chavez. All they need to do is score and they win. The Titans lining up for a game-winning field goal. Orlando Martinez from 33 yards. Got it. Chavez wins it 19-16. Career win number 1 for head coach Christian Sanchez.
Feels great, man. It feels great that, they feel great for me. But honestly, all the work we put in is for them, man. It was a long summer. We pushed them to their limits, and they deserve it.
Try not to get nervous, but, I knew it was on my back and had to drill it, and it was down the middle. So, what they going to say now?
Hey, what did you feel when they called timeout right before you think they're trying to ice you?
Maybe, but I knew I had ice in my veins, so it was gonna be a regular for me.
Ice in his veins, and there it is. Orlando Martinez, game-winning field goal. Castellanos, the big punt return. By the way, Chavez and South each with a bye next week.
Centennial starting quarterback Jet Santiago makes his return this week after suffering an injury in the season opener. The Golden Hawks counting on his comeback to provide the spark they need to give them the edge as they travel to the coast. The St. Joseph Knights playing host to Centennial. Second quarter, St. Joe's up 7-0. Centennial driving. Jet Santiago fakes the handoff to Brady Prey, keeps it himself, and bursts ahead for just over 20 yards. First down, Golden Hawks in the red zone. Santiago again with the quarterback keeper, and he is in. Touchdown, Centennial. Game's tied up at 7, and that's the score going into the half. Third quarter, special teams spark for St. Joe's. Nicholas Romero fields the return at the 9, and he takes off. He races all the way to the 55-yard line, flipping the field for the Knights. Then the aerial attack. Jack Heaslett fakes the handoff, goes deep. Bronson Williams hauls it in. Touchdown Knights. St. Joe's back on top, 14-7. Later in the third, Heaslett keeps it rolling on the move. He finds Dominic Rucobo in the end zone. Another Knights touchdown. It's now 21-7. St. Joe's pulling away. And Centennial tries to respond. Jet Santiago on the keeper again. He's got space, but the Knights come in hot. Jet Santiago pushed out around the 39, trying to spark a comeback, but St. Joe's defense steps up. Centennial looking downfield, scrambling, but this one is picked by Dominic Rucobo. Big time play by the Knights defense, and they are not done yet. Heaslett dumps it short to Grayson Crisp, and Crisp turns on the Jets, takes it 40 yards to the house. St. Joe's rolling now up 28-7. The Knights dominate the second half and take the 35-7 win at home. Next up, Centennial with a bye week.
Well, the McFarland Cougars out to a 4-0 start. Cougar magic has been in full effect, like last week's come-from-behind win over Del Oro. Golden Valley, meanwhile, of the Bulldogs' 4 losses, 3 have been by 1 possession. Tight first half, McFarland leading by a single point. We pick it up third quarter, 26-21 Golden Valley. Malachi Davis to Julian Barajas, setting up this field goal attempt, and it is up. But things just weren't going the McFarland way. That one's no good, still a 5-point Bulldogs lead. Then, the ensuing possession. They give the ball to Cesar Vasquez, whose uniform changes color just on this play in front of you. But he goes in for a touchdown. 33-21. Vasquez had 5 touchdowns in this game. Cougars need a score, but the sack by Carlos Nunez right there. Moments later, another sack coming up. Anthony Magana and friends do the favors for the Bulldogs defense. Fourth quarter, Vasquez another touchdown, 237 yards rushing, 5 scores. It's 40-21. Under 8 minutes to play. Do they have another comeback in them? Malachi Davis. You're going to see flags all over the place. There's one. But he hooks up here. This pass to Raul Cabanillas right there. But it's going to be called back. Just not their night for a comeback. Although Davis does connect here to Victor Rodriguez to make it 40-29. The Cougars did get the ball back again, down by 11. Watch this play. Davis is going to scramble. Eventually, the ball is going to be popped loose. And number 24, Julian Pantoja, picks it up and decides, and his teammate, no, go the other way. Got him. He got directions. Bulldogs pick up their first win. They beat unbeaten McFarland 40-29.
Just kind of staying in the fight, man. Things weren't always going our way, but that's kind of been our season so far. We fought through things that weren't going our way.
Cesar Vasquez, 5 touchdowns. Malachi Davis, both sides of the ball. He was incredible throwing the ball. He had 15 tackles on defense. Daniel Ramos, by the way, played 6 positions for McFarland as well. McFarland will host Mendota next week and Golden Valley with a bye. It's time for another break. Coming up, we're heading back to Delano, plus trips to Porterville and Lake Isabella. Hometown Sports will be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Greg Kerr alongside Emily Lawson. A couple weeks ago, the Delano Tigers, playing without quarterback DJ Huizar, were shut out by North. That loss, by the way, has been erased as North had to forfeit 2 wins, and that was one of them. So Delano heading into their game with East with a perfect record. Meanwhile, Huizar, back after the past 2 weeks, they have rolled up 115 points in those 2 weeks. He makes a difference. Tigers back on home turf against East High. And here he is, DJ Huizar to Raul Quezada, who had a monster game, over 200 yards receiving. And here's a big chunk of it. It's not always a direct line to the end zone, but he got in there. Touchdown. Later first quarter, Daniel Romero busting through the defense. Not going to catch him. He had over 100 yards rushing, most of it on that 71-yard run. 14-0 Delano on top. Delano defense, James Franks, Jonathan Baserto combined for the sack to force an East High punt. Delano would score again to build the 21-0 lead. And then, second quarter, Maximus Hull to Kane Gonzalez. It's 21-7, Blades on the board. Just before the half, though, DJ Huizar to Raul Quezada, who again had 216 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. The second half just as explosive as Delano remains undefeated as they win 65-33. Huizar with 4 TDs, Quezada again 3 TD catches, Daniel Romero 2 TDs. Delano with a bye. East will be at Mira, Monte.
Highland hits the road to take on Porterville, a tough squad whose only loss this season came at the hands of an undefeated Wasco. The Scots will have their work cut out for them in this one. Highland at Porterville, and this band has marched in 6 Rose Bowl parades. Pretty cool for the Panthers. Second quarter, Panthers up 6-0 and driving, but Highland's Eric Tellis reads it like a book, jumps the route, snags the interception, and he is gone. A 70-yard pick six. Highland grabs the lead, 7-6. Doesn't slow the Panthers down, though. From their own 9-yard line, Ethan Enriquez hands it off to Mark Salinas, and he turns on the Jets 90 yards later. Touchdown Porterville. 2-point try is no good. Panthers back on top, 13-7. Highland answers right back. David Faro hands it to Nicholas Gonzalez. Straight up the gut, breaks through, and see ya. Touchdown Highland. Extra point, no good. Game's tied at 13. But this one's a track meet. Enriquez with a short toss to Brett Roberts. He shrugs off a couple defenders. And then sprints down the far sideline. 65-yard touchdown. Porterville retakes the lead, 20-13. The Panthers punch in another score and go into the break leading 27-13. Third quarter, Panthers stretching the lead. Ethan Enriquez, with all day in the pocket, launches one 40 yards to a wide-open Brett Roberts. Touchdown Porterville. Panthers in control 35-13, and Porterville goes on to win it. The final 46-13. Eric Tellis with a pick six. Aiden Vargas, 2 quarterback sacks. Next week, Highland's got a bye week.
Well, the Kern Valley Broncs remember how their season ended last year, a playoff loss to the Miramonte Lions. The final was 56-39, and that was on their home field. Same scenario this week. Miramonte at Kern Valley, only it's week 5, not the playoffs. Let's take you to Lake Isabella. That's a football. Here we go. First quarter, no score. And they give to Carson Parks, who's had a heck of a season this early part of the year. Cutting back and finding his way into the end zone, 56 yards for the score. 7-0 Broncs on top. Later first quarter, tied at 7. Let's call on Carson Parks again, as he is going to be on the loose this time, going away from us down the far sideline. 14-7 Kern Valley. First play of the second quarter. How do we know that? Well, take a look at the scoreboard. There it is. And this is Nathan Gonzalez into the end zone, back and healthy, and it's 14-14. Broncs respond, however. Jackson Price to Daniel Hinkie, 21-14. Is there any defense, anybody? Blake Bauman says, yeah, we got that. The tackle there. And moments later, this touchdown ties the game at 21. Corday Fulmer. Back and forth they went. Jackson Price to Ty Humphers, 28-21. Second half turned out to be all Bronx. They were back in the red zone again. Jackson Price, Daniel Hinkie, his second touchdown catch. Kern Valley goes on to win it by a final of 42-21. Carson Parks and Daniel Hinkie with 2 touchdowns apiece. It is time for yet another break. Coming up, we're checking in on Del Oro, Ridgeview, and Taft. Hometown Sports will be right back. But first, there we are. Follow us on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK and on YouTube at Bakersfield Now. Hometown Sports will be right back. We're hanging out with the folks at BHS. They're on the road, actually. Cheerleaders and more band action as well. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Sports. The Del Oro Suns smarting from last week's last-second loss at McFarland, returning home to host Firebaugh, a school and a program best known for being the home of Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Let's get you out there. The Suns taking the field for this one. By the way, the fireworks, pyrotechnics things fell there. It was okay. Everything was okay. Anyway, here we go. Why'd I even mention it? Okay, Leonardo Perez, far sideline touchdown. And the Eagles coming into town grabbing a 7-0 lead. Second quarter, Albert Osuna finds the end zone rather easily. It's 14-0. Later in the second quarter, Osuna to Dominic Barajas. The catch. He's going to be brought down just inside the 20. Then the same combination, Leonardo Osuna to Dominic Barajas. Makes the grab there. 21-0 Firebaugh. And that's your score at the half. Let's go third quarter. Ball on the ground, snap. Looked like something weird happened there, but it's a recovery for the Suns. Darian Sterling with a recovery. And then Keenan Starling, he got from Sterling to Starling, going to Victor Campos. In for the touchdown, 21-7. Let's go fourth quarter. Joshua Long makes it 21-14. But the Suns coming up just short on their home field. Your final 21-14 Del Oro with a bye week next week.
Heading into week 5, Ridgeview remains perfect on the road, but the Wolfpack is still searching for its first home victory. They look to flip the script under the Friday night lights as they host undefeated Tulare Union in what could be their toughest challenge yet. Ridgeview hosting the Tribe, ready for some Friday night action. Early in the first quarter, Jordan Crisp drops back and goes deep to Demaj Riley. He brushes off the tackle and into the end zone. Tulare out to an early 7-0 lead. Late in the first, Tulare Union back in control. Again, Jordan Crisp to Riley under pressure, but again working through tackles, making it look easy. Takes it all the way in. Touchdown Tribe, 14-0. Second quarter, Tulare Union leads 28-0. Ridgeview driving. E.J. Ellis Moya hands it off to Gunnar Cunningham. He rushes downfield and is out at the 15. Ridgeview looking to make something happen. Ellis Moya keeps it, rushes up the middle, breaking tackles. Will he make it? And he stopped just shy of the goal line, but the very next play, Ellis Moya makes it happen. Touchdown Ridgeview, 28-8. Tulare Union up 34-8 at halftime. But early in the third, the Tribe is not letting up. Jordan Crisp finds Braden Stevenson in the end zone. Now 41-8 Tulare Union. The final, Tulare Union 48, Ridgeview 15. Ridgeview is heading into a bye week.
That's a big quarterback, by the way.
I know.
The Taft High Wildcats making a trip to the coast, heading to Lompoc. Let it be known, not all trips to the coast are pleasure trips. The Cats running up against a Cabrillo team which knocked off Independence in last year's playoffs. Let's get you out there to Lompoc High School. And Andre Briscoe found the end zone quite a bit on this day. No lights there, so they played early. Touchdown, 7-0 Cabrillo on top. Next, Conquistadors possession. Briscoe again, far sideline, 14-0. Now 21-0. Wildcats down by 3 scores. Put the ball in the air. It's going to be tipped. And their own receiver intercepted. And the return for the Conquistadors just about the 10-yard line. Anybody want to guess it's Andre Briscoe? Oh, yeah. His third touchdown of the game. 28-0. Still second quarter. Conquistadors here with the reverse. We bite a little bit, but we'll find them. And this is a touchdown to make it 42-0 Cabrillo. And just before the half, Chris Bethel's going to throw a TD pass to Chris Bloswich to make it 42-7. But in the third quarter, Cabrillo running the ball again. They had just 12 yards passing, but they did have 550 yards rushing. Wow. And they go on to win this one over Taft by a final of 62-7. Here's
very young football team, and we made a long trip over here. I think we didn't come off the bus very well. We've got to find guys that can compete in practice and compete on the field.
Chris Bloswich with that catch for the touchdown. Xander Griffin had an interception on defense, and Taft with a bye week coming up. By the way, Foothill takes down Roseman. Big game on the ground for Andrew Trevino and Martin Velasquez. Ismail Ramirez with 3 TD passes. Cash McAfee had a pick 6. Foothill now with a bye week. It is time for yet another break. BC football straight ahead, plus our players of the week. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. You know, the numbers just don't add up. The Renegades defense holding Golden West to just 9 first downs, and 2 of those were via penalty. Third down efficiency, the visiting Rustlers were just 3 of 16. For their day's work, just 157 total yards of offense, and they punted 11 times. So how did the Gades come up short? We have the answer, and it started right here, the opening kickoff. On the return, the Gades put the ball on the ground. The play was whistled, so it's not a scoop and score there. It's dead right there. But it would lead to a Golden West touchdown, and the Rustlers led 7-0. Next Gades drive, resulting in this Carlos Villa 31-yard field goal, 7-3. Second quarter, Noah Benoa right here with the touchdown run, 14-3, Golden West. Later in the first quarter, defense stepping up. They had a big day. Alex Snow, one of his 3 quarterback sacks, one of 5 QB sacks for the Renegade defense. Late first half, Malachi Statler rolls out, buying time as he's going out of bounds, finds Dylan Johnson for the touchdown, 14-10, and that's your score at the break. Third quarter, defense again doing its part. Anthony Jordan Berry is going to come up with a sack right there, and the Anthony Jordan Berry celebration. There you go. Later, third quarter, the snap catches Carson Woods by surprise. Loose ball, scooped up by Cruz Wheeler, and he is going to go 47 yards for the score. Fumbled kickoff, and it's 21-10 Golden West. Final seconds now, 21-13. This throw is going to be incomplete, well short of the end zone as time expired. The Gades falling in their conference opener 21-13, despite, again, holding Golden West to just 157 yards of total offense.
It's the same as last week, mistakes, right, penalties. You know, it's weird because we did really good the first 2 games, and it's like we took a step back the last 2 weeks, and I don't know why. On the offensive side of the ball, it's just too many mistakes, too many penalties, too many turnovers, right, and just guys aren't making plays.
So Carson Woods, 183 yards passing. Dylan Johnson, the TD catch. Alex Snow, 3 quarterback sacks. Drew Underwood, 8 tackles. Next week, Gades are on the road at Pasadena City, and we will be there as well. Time for our Players of the Week, sponsored by Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality dental care to you and your family. Our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, Kennedy High running back Jace DeMcCovalin. He was a one-man wrecking crew, carrying the ball a dizzying 39 times for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Thunderbirds to a win over previously undefeated Independence. Jace DeMcCovalin of Kennedy is our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week, another Kennedy Thunderbird. He's number 25, Anthony Lara. Lara was a handful for the Falcons' offensive line as he recovered 3 quarterback sacks as the Thunderbirds held Independence just 6 points the entire night. Anthony Lara of Kennedy is our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week, Orlando Martinez of Chavez. This was a no-brainer as Martinez, the game-winning field goal in overtime to lead Chavez to a 19-16 win over South. Orlando Martinez Chavez is our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week. Coming up next, game-saving play, our Athlete of the Week, and some youth football. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. Time for our game-saving play, now sponsored by our newest sponsor, Mather Brothers Ice and Water. There you go. Meanwhile, by the way, their slogan, keeping Bakersfield hydrated, us too, as you can see. And stop me if you have seen this before. This week's game-saving play, yeah, you just saw it. Back to the Chavez South game, and Orlando Martinez, who had 2 field goals in this game. Titans game-winning kick right there, 33 yards in overtime. Chavez, their first win of the season, and Orlando Martinez of Chavez with our Mathers Brothers Ice and Water game-saving play of the week.
Now to this week's Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Greg's Petroleum Service, your dependable partner for fuel and lubricants. This week's Athlete of the Week is Marion Sloan of Shafter. The Generals trailing by 6 at the half. Sloan turned up the heat with 19 carries for 282 yards and 5 touchdowns as the Generals remain unbeaten with a 42-25 win on the road at Edison. Marion Sloan of Shafter is our Greg's Petroleum Service Athlete of the Week.
Meanwhile, our youth football is brought to you by Golden Empire Youth Football. Golden Empire Youth Tackle Football and Cheer. Competitive excellence. Let's go to the freshman level. Wolverines and the Cavaliers. The Santiago family might want to start recording this right now. This is Ian Santiago in for the touchdown, and the Wolverines have the lead. Then Ian Santiago again looking to pass, and he says no, he's going to go far sideline. Now I'm thinking right here, are they going to catch him? They might. Are they going to catch him? Might. Here comes another guy. You going to catch him? No. Wait, he's gaining. All the way. Touchdown, Ian Santiago. Yeah, he's still chasing him. Didn't get to him. And then some defense by the Wolverines. Who's going to pick up that ball? That might be Ian Santiago. It is Ian Santiago with another touchdown. And they go on to win. The Wolverines taking down the Cavaliers. Celebrate, my man. There you go. The final 29-6. All right, coming up, our exciting play of the week, our hits and our scholar. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Now for our exciting play of the week, brought to you by Stockdale Podiatry Group. We treat your feet. This week's exciting play, Golden Valley at Arvin. Ball on the ground and is picked up with our exciting play of the week, Julian Pantoja. But his GPS is off and he's going the wrong way. Teammates giving him directions. Julian, your teammates may have had a good laugh, but only you recovered the fumble. Julian Pantoja of Golden Valley with our Stockdale Podiatry exciting play of the week.
Good for him. Meanwhile, our time for our hits of the week brought to you by Raven's Trophies and Awards. It's not just a trophy, it's a memory, and let's begin the hits. BHS at Dorsey, this kick return, and right in the pack. You can see that's a pretty big hit. However, and by Andre Sanders, by the way, if we had not been blocked out by the players, this might have been a winner. But that's Andre Sanders of BHS. Chavez at South, watch the far sideline. Late fourth quarter, Brian Leva's just going to put him in the stands. There you go, nice hit. Putting the return man down. That was at the end of regulation. Brian Leva of South High. Back to BHS at Dorsey. Jeremy Millette. Coming in hot right there. That's what he does. Sacks quarterbacks, and that is Jeremy Millette of BHS. This week's winner, Shafter at Edison. Watch out over the middle. That is Nick Rossetti. Patrol in the middle, and oh my. The senior linebacker sent in a message, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Nick Rossetti of Shafter is our Raven's Trophies and Awards Hitman of the Week. And now for our Scholar of the Week, brought to you by Accelerated Urgent Care. Feel better, faster from anywhere. This week's Scholar of the Week comes from Stockdale High School, number 23, Mr. Mitchell. GPA of 3.62, and Mr. wants to major in civil engineering or liberal arts. His dream school, he says, is UCLA. Other sports, he might play basketball. His favorite food, bacon. I think a lot of people can get on board with that. His favorite TV show, One Piece. I had to do a little searching on that. Gotta be honest, didn't know it. But anyway, One Piece it is. Music, Frank Ocean, Future, and The Weeknd. And one thing most people don't know about Mr., when he was in third grade, he took Taekwondo. Mr. Mitchell of Stockdale is our Scholar of the Week. Yeah, I didn't know One Piece.
That's okay.
Yeah,
we did some research together. Yeah. We figured it out.
I think you do. I didn't know. Anyway, predictions are coming up, which she probably knows and I don't.
Oh,
We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Greg Kerr alongside Emily Lawson. Time for our predictions. We've got a number of teams that have buys in week number 6, but league play is just around the corner, by the way. But here are the games we have coming up at us, and we're going to start things off with Frontier against Clovis North. And Frontier, they had a 14-0 lead on a very, very good Lincoln team down there. They just did not hold on to that lead. Clovis North, again, one of the better teams in the Central section. I'm going with Frontier because I like the way they're trending, even though it's on the road. You like Clovis North.
Yeah, I picked Clovis North. I went against Frontier, but I mean they did well in the first half, so we'll see if they can play a full game.
Stretch that out to 4 quarters, exactly. Next up, we've got Liberty against Independence. I'm actually, because total transparency, we make these picks before last Friday's games. I'm changing to Liberty on this one. I'm going to go Liberty.
I was going to say we had high hopes for this Kennedy game, and then Independence. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, I just like what Liberty's done offensively. Now, they still haven't stopped anyone yet, and we'll see what they can do against Independence. But I'm going to go with Liberty in that one. All right, meanwhile, next up, we've got Rigetti against Garces. Righetti's having a tough season. I like what I saw from Garces in the Holy Bowl against San Joaquin Memorial. I'll go with the Rams.
Yes, that freshman. What was his name again? I can't remember off the top of my head. The freshman that just
Brody
had a killer
Letourneau.
game. Yeah, he had a killer game. So.
Yeah, he did. And Gomez, the quarterback, just a sophomore, had a nice game as well. Elsewhere, we've got BCHS Tulare Union. It's one of the best games. There's another one I'm going to mention, but that's a really good game. I'm going to go with the Eagles, though.
Yes, BCHS still undefeated.
That's a thick quarterback for Tulare Union.
Yes, I know. I was talking to the photographer that did that game. He was like, I've never seen a quarterback that big.
Yeah, I tell you what, you better bring him down with 2 hands. East at Miramonte, the Blades are scuffling a little bit, trying to find themselves. Miramonte licking their wounds after a loss. With home field, I like Miramonte winning this one.
I agree with you.
All right, let's go to our next game up. Tulare Western Wasco, another very good game, to be honest with you. Tulare Western, a good team. Wasco is undefeated. They are coming off a bye. I like what they have in the 1-2 punch of running the ball and throwing the ball. I like Wasco in this one.
Yeah, I think they've proved that they are monsters this season. And like you said, coming off a bye week is always good.
Hammy Lopez, too. and Javen Hernandez, a quarterback. It's just been a combination that's kept offenses honest. And they have done the business, gotten it done so far. In fact, Porterville hasn't lost since they played Wasco in the first game. That tells you something as well. Next up, Mendota against McFarland. Can the Fighting Norm Browns get back in the win column against Mendota? That's going to be a tough assignment as well, but I'm going with McFarland to win this one.
I'm agreeing with you on that one. Yep, McFarland is looking good.
Malachi Davis had a terrific game, offense and defense, and they're also in the midst of playing 5 straight games at home. So hopefully the home cooking will help them out as well. Elsewhere, Tehachapi at Golden West. Tehachapi, I don't want to say they're down a little bit, but they are young. They are a young team. They only have one starting quarterback player on offense as their quarterback. And so I've got to go with Golden West, which is undefeated, came back and beat North High. I think this will be a tight game for a while, but I do think Golden West is going to win, and that game is in Visalia. All right, next up, Arvin at West. Both teams coming off a bye. What say you?
Yeah, Solomon Harris just always makes me pick West. You know, he's always impressive. He's fun to watch. The whole team is great, but Solomon always brings the heat.
This game has big plays written all over it. You got Andrew Rosales and Xavier Brooks over at Arvin, and you got Solomon Harris doing what he does. This game could, I'm thinking like 38-31 or something like that.
Be high scoring.
I could be way off. Who knows? That's why I'm losing in fantasy football. All right, elsewhere. Boron against North. Boron is coming off a bye. So too is North. North learned that they lost 2 of their games because of ineligible players. It was just paperwork, nothing malicious there. But they are back on the field. Nobody's, they're doing the job on the field is what they're doing. Their only loss on the field was the Golden West game. So I like North to win this game. But Boron is a pretty good team. We saw them beat Arvin rather handily. This is the other game I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Shafter against St. Joe's. This is going to be a terrific game. I'm going Shafter, But they got a little bit of a wake-up call first half against Edison. You were there.
Yes, they did indeed. I was talking to one of the coaches after the game, and he was telling me, yes, this game is one to look out for, but they're ready for it. Marion Sloan is getting more healthy by each week, and he's getting more carries, so everything's looking good. I mean, on defense and offense.
He looked pretty healthy.
Yeah, he did.
90-yard touchdown
5
run.
touchdowns, yeah.
He looked pretty good. All right, elsewhere, we've got a couple more, I think. Oh, it's our last one right here. We've got BC against Pasadena City. Pasadena City, I think, is 2-2. Look, the Renegades are playing some pretty tough defense, and I really like that about them. They held a very good Golden West team to under 200 yards total offense. I think that Pasadena City's 2 losses are against quality teams, but I like the Renegades to go on the road and win this one. They've just got to get more consistency and offensively, and that's not all on the quarterback. They had some catchable balls that weren't caught. They just got to sustain some drives and quit having them end with a Carlos Villa field goal.
Yeah, the same thing with last week when they played Ventura. Defense was so strong and the offense just fell a little bit short with 5 turnovers. But the defense still held them to only, I think, under 200 yards or something crazy like that.
I'm saying this is a breakout game for the offense this week at Pasadena City. At least that's what we're hoping so. And we'll be at all those games, by the way, for next week. So for Emily, I'm Greg. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 on Hometown Sports. Have a great night.
Hometown Sports was sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Alpha Technology and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Valley Strong Credit Union, and 50 Driving School.